Just another day at the office, except for Cassie Cope, looks can be deceiving. Cope is a political reporter for the state newspaper and calls the small, dingy press room that she shares with 7 other reporters at the State House home. Cope closely covers the state budget and focuses mainly on education, roads, and public safety.
So it's finding out the facts first, and then from there, it's asking, going in depth. So why are you sending the money to counties versus the State Department of Transportation, and digging deep into the weeds, and then trying to zoom back out for readers and help them understand.
She says that elected officials are people too.
So you develop professional relationships with these people just like you would any other source. You get to know them, get to know where they come from. It's really important to know if they're an urban or rural district that they represent, and that helps you understand why they're pushing for certain proposals or policies, and how all of these people come together to try and represent the entire state as a whole and do what's best for South Carolina.
Journalists like Cassie turn stories about once a day, covering things going through the legislature. She and other journalists work closely with senators and House of Representatives to get this done. Richland Representative James Smith believes working with journalists to get his and other assembly members' messages out there is essential in connecting with their constituents.
Without active journalists who care about what's going on, who are engaged, then the public doesn't necessarily get the full picture about what we're doing. I mean, they hold and keep us accountable to the trust that is placed in us by the people of our state.
Representative Smith homes in on the importance of trust within the relationship.
I can communicate to them on a certain level and provide them with information that helps them do their job and helps get information to the public and know when we're on the record and when we're not on the record.
Back at the state newspaper's Columbia headquarters, Jamie Self types away at a new angle covering the roads bill that is currently being discussed in the House. She says it's important to maintain good relationships with sources inside the Assembly.
So it's a lot of just touching base with sources, keeping track of the calendar and all of the committee meetings, and just reading through a lot of legislation to also see if there's anything that jumps out of you that might be important to readers.
Cope, Self, and other reporters covering the legislature focus on providing readers with easily understandable facts and information while closing the gap between elected officials and their constituents, and creating a greater transparency in government. Gabrielle Aarons, Carolina News.